Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Big round of applause for all you who are here. Yes. Right? Yes, yes. Hello, how are you? How's everybody? ¿Cómo están ustedes? También, tan felices. ¿Ah? Bellas y preciosos, todos. Well, I'm so happy to be here. My name is Dani Bedoni. I'm a Latina woman from Venezuela, and I'm president of Learning One-to-One Foundation and also the Mindset of Possibility System. And the most important thing is that we women love to be together, especially the Latino women, right? So we have an amazing array of people. We have Maria Gonzalez, who's founder and CEO of Adelante Community Development. Hola, Maria. We have to my left, sí me gusta, sí me gusta. To my left, I have Patricia Barela Rivera, former Colorado Director of U.S. Small Businesses and Administration, and she's got something exciting to talk about, a museum later on, right? And then we have Ramona Martinez, former President of Denver City Council. Imagine that, big, big fish, huh? And we have Jackie Bouvier, President Denver of Chapter Board Prospanica, and Bouvier, just like Kennedy. You know, Jackie Kennedy, remember? She was Jackie Bouvier Kennedy. So maybe some affiliation. We'll find out. There's always a novela, a soap opera. So you never know, right? What could happen today? So, but interestingly enough, I mean, we Hispanics are quite interesting in the fact that, I don't know if you know, but $3.6 trillion of the economy is thanks to Latinos. $3.6 trillion. And half of it, that would be 1.3 trillion, is thanks to Latina women, which have grown 600,000 billion. You imagine that? There's growth in the numbers. And one of the great things about that is that we are strong when we're together. And before we didn't have a seat at the table, and guess what we did? We just created the whole table, right? That's what we do. And this is the 5th biggest economy in the world. So we have to understand that we can do a lot together and networking together. And this is what you're going to find with these incredible, powerful ladies. And of course, the businesses who understand this want to work with us, and we want to work with them. And NBC right now is celebrating 100 years of all cultural Hispanic and everything that has happened in this country. And today we have the first World Cup game with Mexico. So thank you. That's a good number. So we're going to start right away with politics, of course. You know, one thing is fun, but as they say, and everybody says, you want power, go to politics, right? Yes. So, right. If not, I'll pass you my thing. And we'll do a trade. We'll do a trade. Ta-da-da-dum. So share with us, Ramona, that you built a political career in a time where Latinas had no seat in the table. And here she goes. She's coming.
Well, thank you all for coming, because I think, you know, when you say politics, politicians, nobody likes politicians, right? But there's a thing about being in politics. It's not about what you see on TV. It's not about what you think you read. It's about what the people are doing for you. The best politician, and I started in the 1980s, so a lot of you probably weren't even born by then. But the thing is, I had no mentors. I had no organizations like this that I could go to and say, I want to run for office. I had a husband at a very, very young age, and he was very young too, so Mr. Machismo and Patricia knew him. When I decided, and I'm going to tell you a story, because I have to tell this story. When I decided to run for city council, what I did first was I used to be involved in all my kids' stuff. I'd go to Head Start, and I'd volunteer at Head Start, and I'd go to the schools, and I'd help the kids out at school, and volunteer. I was a volunteer. Until I realized that the guys were getting all the You know, they were getting all the accolades about how great everything was going. When I saw myself, it wasn't so good for a lot of our parents and our teachers and our kids. So I worked for my predecessor for 8 years. I started as a volunteer, and then he decided he couldn't do the job without me, so he put me on as a legislative assistant for a city council person, and I was the first legislative assistant. Well, after 8 years, after doing a lot of the work, I decided to run for city council. Now, to give you a little bit about my background, I had no politics involved. Never any of my family had ever ran for political office. I didn't know really women, particularly Latina women, that were running for office. There wasn't any. So I went to my family. Of course, family is important, right? Family is important to us. And I said, without you, I can't do this, but I'm going to run for city council. Okay, we'll get behind you. You had a question for me. It said, who was my biggest influence? So I'm going to go to that question.
I love it.
My husband, he was a great guy. He used to go and do all his mother's, she couldn't speak English very well. She didn't even drive a car, but she raised 9 kids. So when we would go over there, sit down, he used to make her checks out, pay her bills, and said, okay, Mom, you know, we'd sit there and we'd talk to her. And then she looked at me and she said, Ramona, so you're going to run for city council? I go, yeah, Ma, I'm going to run for city council. Then we heard this voice coming out of the bedroom. Well, I don't know if I'm going to let her run or not. That was my husband, her son. So she said, Lorenzo, go give me my, and then it's her Spanish, because she couldn't speak English very well. She said, go give me my checkbook, Hito. Oh, well, I thought I finished doing all your checks. No, I forgot one. So he went in, got the checkbook, and she says, make it out for $50. Now, there's a woman that had lived on Social Security, a widow. And she said, make it out for $50. So he made it out. And she says, let me sign it. So she signed it. He goes, well, who do I make it out to, Mom? He goes, Ramona, for her campaign. For her campaign. I ran, and I was on city council for 16 years. Wow. The longest time that every member of council has ever served is 16 years. I served as president of the Denver City Council, not once, but twice, but 3 times my peers elected me. During the time that we built the airport, during the time we built Coors Field, during the time I even negotiated with Pat Bowen on the Broncos Stadium. Wow. When people ask me, where did you graduate from? Well, college. I go, I didn't graduate from college, but I took a lot of courses. And I was also went to Harvard, and I was given two courses at Harvard that I was invited to. And I took a course at the Center for Creative Leadership, where there's nothing but male corporate guys that come in from New York and all these other places. But as president of city council, they thought my leadership skills could be improved. So I went to that as well. So all my educational opportunities were my grassroots involvement just from the time I was doing volunteer at a child care center or at the Head Start programs. But I listened and I learned what people's needs were. And if you're going to run for office, or if you think, what do I have to do? It's going to be about how you connect with other people. Where do you start? You start with listening to what other people's needs are. And one of the most important things that our families, especially Latino families in this country, are struggling with, or we know immigrations, we know that, but it's the economy. You talked about the economy. We don't know how, a lot of us politicians don't look at that. We look at, getting the streets fixed, getting this stuff, passing legislation, getting things built. But what do we do to help the economy? One of the things I did when we built the IA, I sponsored the affirmative action program that opened up the doors so that minority businesses throughout the state of Colorado could have the first concessions. And today, there are more Latinos that have restaurants. When you go through DIA, you see Paula Sandoval has one. Rod Tafoya, when I met him. Gabriel Quintana. All these folks have it. Now, it wasn't easy, and of course, the Supreme Court overturned the ruling on my legislation. But we didn't stop there. We just kept making sure it goes. So I don't want to take more of your time. You got too many good people here. But I just want to leave one thing with you. I was the first Latina to be elected president of City Council. I started a national organization called the National Hispana Leadership Institute in 1987 with a group of people, Latinos throughout the country, not just here in Colorado. We had over 500 cohorts, women that you see now on TV. You don't even know who they, Maria Teresa Kumar, all those women you see on MS Now, Maria that's on CNN, all those women you see now, I was able to not only help them, but get them where they are today. And it's not because, not for me, but for our community and for them. And so if you go into politics, if you want to run, and believe me, anybody can run for office if you really put your mind, your effort, and your understanding that it's going to be for your community. You'll get there.
And passing back to the baton on the left-hand side. Oh, your question. You've trained more than 100,000 women. And yesterday, I guess 100,000 and I don't know how many, because yesterday we were training for our emerging leaders. So I'm just going to pass the baton off saying, what is the advice? What are the challenges? And what do you love most?
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank my fabulous friends being here with me, because we all love each other. We do. We really do. And I think that's so important because, that's when I did the networking workshop yesterday, some of you heard me say, you know what? Be around wonderful people. And these are wonderful women, and they're very successful. I adore them. And they know that I am there for them 1,000%. And of course, Ramona and I only talk to each other 7 or 8, 9 times a day. So, she's tired of me anyway. But we have a great friendship. And that's what it's about. It's about supporting each other. So my question is what is one piece of advice you'd give every young Latina that you wish someone had given you? Well, first of all, before I start, what Ramona talked about, the National Hispana Leadership Institute, I was in one of those cohorts. And I got to tell you, I was the oldest one in the group at that time. That was it about 5, 6 years ago, Ramona? Maybe longer. Yeah, it was probably 7 because every year they get 20 to 25 women from all over the country to get together and do all kinds of training. We went to Harvard. I mean, it was fun. And I met young Latinas from all over the country. And I got to tell you, even though I was the oldest one in the group, I still learned a lot. But now I have great friends all over the country. And see, remember when I said yesterday about networking? Get out there. Meet people. Because it's going to help you. It's going to help the community. So, anyway, I think there's several pieces of advice. So I'm going to say very quickly is that, first of all, the advice that I would give to a young Latina would be know who you are. Know your culture. Know your cultural identity. We need to be very proud of that. I'm from New Mexico. I learned English first, but then I learned Spanish when I was 7 years old, and I never want to forget it. And Mom said and Dad would say, Patricia, wherever you go, you're going to be a child of the world. That's what they would always tell me. Isn't that beautiful? And they were a darling. And I really took that to heart. And I was not the child of the world because my life was very difficult, especially my career, where you learn that your people are harassing you, or they're racist, and sometimes you have to just take it and move on. And so I think knowing who you are, your background, whatever, if you're Venezuelan, if you're Puerto Rican, a Cubana, a Latina, if you're Mexican, you're Spanish, even Native American, we need to be really proud of who we are. Because, when you walk into a room, walk in like you own the room. Walk in like you own the room. Do not be ashamed. Feel proud of who you are. And I think that's really, really important, because let me tell you what that is. That's a superpower that we have. We're brilliant people. We're kind souls. We're compassionate. Sometimes that compassion and that kindness hurts us. It does to some extent, but still be kind. Again, and be proud of your grandparents and your aunts and uncles, because, we're in it together. We're in it together. The other thing is we also have a lot of stories to tell. Tons of wonderful stories to tell. Those stories are wonderful to learn from your grandparents and your mother and father. And our culture is so rich, not only in our food and the way we talk, and more than anything, our passion, right? You saw us dancing. Oh, yeah. My God, you get music going and let's move it. And that's the way we should be about life. That it's about happiness, and we're a very happy culture also, and we're kind. But sometimes people take that kindness for someone who's not assertive. Someone who just is maybe dull and boring. But also, people need to understand that, yes, you can be kind, but also you can be tough, right? And you're smart, and you've got good skills. But also, I think that we as Latinos and Latinas need to understand that we bring so much value to this country. So much value. Because you know what? Our perspectives of the way we're raised, we can bring to the job site. And I really believe that in my heart and soul. That's why women are such great leaders. You know why? Because our right side and left side of our brains are really brilliant. Not only are we kind, but we can be tough. We may be aggressive, we may be assertive. And use those skills. Use those skills. And also, when I talk about, again, I said these are unique perspectives that you all have. Be proud of them. Like I said, I know Ramona teases because I wear bright colors a lot. And that's just me, because that's how, and I'm doing it for, you guys know me, right? They all know me. And I love jewelry, and I just love living large. And I tell Ramona, we only have one life to live. Live it with passion, because I eat with passion. I love with passion. I talk with passion. And I love with passion, especially I love my women friends and my male friends. And you know what? Life then comes back to you very positive. It really does. In New Mexico, we say, una mano se lava la otra. One hand washes the other, which means when you give, it's going to come back tenfold. So those are some of the unique things I think that I would share. I've got 10 million other things, but I know I could go on and on. But these other great women need to talk.
But we'll go back to you. We're sure about that. So next we have Maria Gonzalez, and she founded Adelante Community, a development to serve Spanish-speaking entrepreneurs in the Denver metro area. What has been one of the things that really has resonated with you by doing this? And how has that networking helped each and everyone that you know? Thank you.
Well, I'm going to start by saying that I would have never in my life have imagined the honor to be in a panel with the Patricia, Barela, and Ramona Martinez. It is such an honor. Jackie and I feel this great honor to be in the same panel. This woman, un aplauso, por favor. This woman have paved the way before any of us can think about having choices. They started this. They started opening the doors for the Marias, the Jackies, without even knowing that we were coming next. They were the ones that started this fight of opening the doors for Latinas, for Latinos, for Spanish speakers, for community. And that cannot be taken for granted, because I can only imagine what they have to go through, at that age of themselves, and then the bureaucracy and politics that they had to get to where they became those voices that we needed. And so thank you for that. Thank you. I love you too. And because of that, I had the freedom to be able to open an organization, which is called Adelante Community Development. For the past 11 years, Adelante has served as the go-to for Spanish-speaker Latino entrepreneurs in Colorado to launch a business, to get access to capital, and to promote an economy that is needed for our Latino community. We've supported almost 10,000 new businesses. And the reason that I started Adelante is because myself, as a Spanish-speaking Latina entrepreneur in Colorado, did not get the services like from the Hispanic Chamber or other organizations when I was in the 2009, when it was really, really hard financially. And so if I was facing all of those challenges as a Latina business owner, I can only imagine what other businesses were facing. So coming together with a lot of those business owners, we decided that we're not gonna be left out of this opportunity. And that's why Adelante was born, to create a path to economic mobility, to make sure that Latinos and Latinas are opening businesses successfully, that they have the technical assistance, that they have the mentoring, and then the money to continue those businesses. We've grown from just myself to now 10 employees. But, earlier I was mentioning to Jackie that right now, because of the current economic situation, more Latinas are opening businesses every day. And right now, we could use another 10 consultants that could be mentoring our Latinas, supporting them with their business plan, and making sure that they are accessible to what the current economic situation is. So Adelante continues to transform the people through education, mindset, mentoring, but it's not enough. So I'm hoping that you, as Latinas and Latinos and everybody in the room, as you're thinking about what can you do in the future, when you're starting a business, think about getting help from organizations like Adelante. And if you already have a successful program, to give back to community, to give back to organizations like Adelante that can then bring more resources and more opportunity. Also, as Latinas, sometimes we have heard that el enemigo de otro Latino, the enemy of another Latino, is another Latino. Let's change that. Please, change that. Be supportive to one another as mujeres Latinas. No anden con pendejadas. Like, please. We're done. Think about everybody's against us. We don't need anybody against us. We as women need to support each other, need to open those doors, need to tell somebody, hey, you know what? You have cilantro en tus dientes. It's okay to say it. Be friends. Be true. Be transparent. Don't waste time. Don't be a faker. You know what? We need each other. And you know what? Right now is the most important time that we need each other, because everybody is already against us. Latinos, you heard it. We could be the 5th largest economy of the world. And what are we doing? No, comadre, no abras negocio. No. Let's be supportive. Let's open those doors. Let's make sure that all of us get in. Don't be like those ones that are, oh, I'm already in. Close that door. Don't. Make it wide open. Bring the table, bring the chair. Support each other. Latinas are opening the most businesses of any other group. That means you. 300%. Be those Latinas that hire more Latinas. Be those Latinas that innovate, bring technology, get into those fields that are men-dominated. Guess what? Somos chingonas. We could do it. You have to believe in yourself. You know what? The time is now. If you're Latina in the United States, you have the best opportunity to launch a business, to be successful, to innovate, and guess what? To create a better quality of life financially for you and for your family. Okay? erase all the past patterns. You are now the creator of your CEO life. Make it happen. And we're here. Look, I mean, this woman, you think they're already tired, retired, but they're here giving you their best insights. Take advantage. I do. Invite them to lunch. Make sure that we're always together as Latinas. No hablen más de la otra. It's not necessary. Okay, be supportive.
Bravo. Bravo. Qué bella. Bravo. But it's true. It's true. When we see what Jackie Bouvier now is doing in Prospanica, she's leading a national association of Hispanic business professionals. So if you want somebody to network, Jackie is going to show us how. Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
See, she already has her own.
Hola a todos. Hola. It's an honor. And I just want to echo what Maria was saying. Truly a dream come true for me to be on the stage with you guys. I have dreamed of this day. Thank you so much for that honor, that privilege. And if you don't know, you Google these ladies, all of them. It's phenomenal to even be in this room and listen and learn from them. So thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for saying that. It truly is an honor. So there's different things for networking, right, and different opportunities. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the emeritus now president of Prospanica. It used to be the National Society of Hispanic MBAs. I'm also first gen, first one to ever get a master's degree in my whole entire family. So I'm very proud of that opportunity that I've gotten in my life, and all to give my daughter a good example of a woman, a leader, right? She's 23 now, graduated from CU Boulder, working in corporate America, New York, and so that was who was just calling right now when she's walking back home. But and I'm excited to say that my biggest passion as an entrepreneur, I am a founder of a Bouvier & Co. oversee business improvement districts. I bridge the gap in the Latino businesses for acquisitions and mergers and get them prepared so that they can get that loan, that opportunity to purchase their commercial property or to just have all their ducks in a row. And on the other side, I'm a co-founder of a construction company. It's a national one, and also working in some deals that have to do with international also opportunities in the country that I was born, El Salvador. So I'm pretty busy and excited. So I did step back from the president role. I am an emeritus, and that means I'm still connected with Prospanica at the national level through the Latina MBAs and creating opportunities at that level. And it's less work, but more intense, and I'm excited to do that. Now, just to answer your question, I believe that the reason that I became pretty connected, not only in Colorado but nationally, has been because I learned something that's powerful within myself. And that's to believe that what you think about the most is what you become. And that's something you need to write down and remember every day of your life. That you think about is what you manifest. That you confess and continue to talk about is what becomes part of your life. And so the moment that I started changing the narrative in my mind about who I am, how I see myself, and how I enter those rooms, is the moment I started believing in the talents, the different opportunities that were within me. So you start to see who you are. You start to align with your purpose. You start to align with everything that's been already deposited into you. So we educate ourselves and we get those opportunities to get trained because we are passionate about something, right? Because we align with something. So creating an opportunity to destroy those barriers is very important when you enter a room. Because then you have the opportunity to not be afraid to speak to the people that you want to, and to show them that you're there and that you're present and that you belong and that you have value. And I think that's what has changed my whole life completely. And it just completely destroyed any barrier, any line. And so the opportunity to network became different. The second one, never expect anything in return. I know. We go in thinking, what am I going to get? Am I going to get a job? I managed the Career Center at the University of Denver, the College of Business. And we used to get trained into like going in, give your card. If you're Japanese, if you're Chinese, if you're from whatever the culture was. But the biggest thing that I learned and that we educated our MBA students there was that it's so important to understand that, because when you get there and you're not expecting anything in return, you are just putting your seeds out there and letting them sprout as they will, because that's the law of attraction, and it's powerful, and it's very, very true. And just going up there and knowing your value, knowing what you bring to the table, and knowing yourself is very important. And knowing that you're going there with purpose, right? You already know you're networking because you have all these opportunities that are there for you. But building that relationship, and someone said this in a panel at Pepperdine University last week, and this is Betty Uribe, look her up, she's phenomenal, she's amazing. And so she said, if you come to me with an agenda, I will smell it. I will know. But if you come to me because you admire something I said, something that just changed your life, or something that you can connect with me and want to learn from me, I will also know. And that genuine connection is so important. And I think that's what's given me an opportunity. And I feel like that's my key. You know, that's my superpower. And I want you to have that. Use that superpower to open doors. Just be genuine about what you want to learn about every person you meet, because every single person is amazing. Everybody has something so beautiful to share with you, and no one is less and no one is more. And I think that's the moment that you start sowing those seeds, and they're so powerful. Because fast forward now from 2006 to these years, I go and knock on these doors, and I've built these strong relationships. They're like, oh, Jackie, you're my friend. We've built relationship throughout the years. Come on in. How much do you need for your nonprofit? How much do you need for this? Who do you want to connect me with, right? And so, but that happens because I didn't expect anything in return at that moment, but I wanted to build that relationship, because you never know what you can offer to them or what they can offer to you in the future. And I think that's the power and the base of networking. And, changing that narrative about yourself, believing what you think about yourself, walking with the value that you bring, and knowing exactly that in that moment, even if you don't get anything in return, it's out there. It's out there. Trust me. Believe me when I tell you, it will come back to you 100-fold. It might not come back from that person. It might come out from another place, but it always comes back. And I think that's the power of networking and having that opportunity. And so with that said, I just want to close with telling you the biggest thing you can do in order for you to be connected. If you want to be connected at the local or national or international level, find an association that aligns with who you are and what you're doing and what you want to become. Connect with those associations. Prospanica, for me, opened doors like you have no idea. I spend the night at a friend's house in New York, in Texas, California. It's just, I've made amazing friends, but we support each other, and we open doors for one another and support each other. So I think that if you become part of an organization that aligns with what you're doing, with your mission, with who you are and where you want to be, that's very important. So and then you create that sense of, friendship, and just you learn and you grow, and it opens doors. So it depends where you want to be and where you see yourself. I recommend that you do that. Prospanica has done that for me. I honestly have met people, even through the organization, that have helped me at a level that I cannot express, and now it's just coming full fruition and full force. So that's my biggest advice for you if you want to be able to grow, align with whatever your industry is, your next step in life, or where you see yourself in the future, and work your way back.
So I'm going to segue to what we see ourselves in the future to close this up. So we'll start again with Ramona. And Ramona, what do you see the future like? Now we're Americans. We're 100% Latinas, but we're 100% Americans. We live here. We work for this country. We want this country to thrive and have more, which is a melting pot, which is what we're celebrating, the 250 years of America. And America is built on that foundation. What would you like the next 250 years to look like?
Well, when I look out at this room and I see all your young faces, that gives me hope. Hope that because you're here, you're taking the time, and you're here. And your reason you're here, you know why you're all here, because you want to learn about how you can be probably more successful in your life or get back to your life. That gives me hope, because I'm done. I've been retired for a long time, but I'm not done. But so it gives me hope. there are organizations now like the Latino Leadership Institute. My granddaughter runs that, Joelle Martinez. She's had it for over 12 years now. Nationally organization now. And that gives me hope because it's going to be every single one of you in this room that can do that. You can make it better for other people if you put your mind to it. And like they said, know your value. And remember, you don't want to be the first of everything, but it's nice. So yeah, first this, first that. But it's making sure you're not the last. And that's what I look at out here. I'm not the last because there's a lot of you out there that are going to be the first.
You want me to answer?
Very short because we're finished.
Okay. Wow. One of the things that, when I'll be dead and gone, but one of the things that I want to see is our community, that we have our first Hispanic woman president of the United States. I would love it.
Me too.
Love it. And don't think it's that far, because you can do it if you want to do it. You really can. Right? You're right. You can. Hey, we're able to do a lot, but people don't give us the credit. But you got to be tough. You got to take responsibility. You got to work hard. But more than anything is to support one another. Because let me tell you what's happening right now. And Ramona and I talk about this all the time. You know, we're working on a major project. We're trying to build a museum for the three cultures here in Colorado, Spanish, Mexican, and Native American. Of course, Native Americans were already here. And Ramona and I have been working on this solely for 3 years, 7 days a week, all volunteer. Our lives have taken a whole different, direction, because we thought we were going to have fun, and she thought she was going to go on cruises, and I thought I was going to be having a lot of fun doing great things, but we're not. We're doing this museum for all of you. We want to leave a legacy for you and men and women in Colorado, whatever culture you come from. But here's the thing is we need you. We need you to take over our spaces, because we're not going to be here that long. We need you to say, what can I do for you now? You know, a young woman came up to me earlier and said, what can I do to make an impact? Every one of you can make an impact. I did not know that I would be the first Latina Small Business Administration Director in the country. I was the very first out of 70 offices ever. And I'm going to tell you, it was not easy. There were 300 applicants for that job, and 50, and then 10, and then me and 2 other men were vying for that job, and I got the job, which was a miracle. It really was. And let me tell you, you talk about racism and sexism, it was the epitome of it. But let me tell you, I held my head high, and I made sure when I got in that job that I promoted the men and people of color, and I made sure we had more people of color in that organization because I was the boss. And that's power. That's power. Think about that. So really look at another thing. Don't surround yourself with toxic people. Be around positive people that build you up. I talked about that in the networking workshop, didn't I? And I said, toxic people are not good for you. Be around people who say, I love you, you're success, like helping these younger women here, and you know that. Everywhere we go, we're there for our young women. We will, and every time here's to tell you another thing, what I'd like to see. When you're on a board or a commission, I've been on 70 or 80 boards and commissions. No wonder I'm so damn tired. I'm serious. And every time I leave a board or anything, I always say, I want another Hispanic woman to take this position. You always have to do that. That's how we help each other. Like right now, the new CEO of the zoo, Crystal de Herrera, she's Latina, first time ever. I was on that board for 13 years. And I made sure when I was on that board that I would help other Latinas get on. And another Latina got on that board that I promoted. Not only did I get her on the board, she became the chair of the board. Marcela de la Mar. Yeah. But that's what it's about. So that's what I'd like to see, is that we become such a force to be dealt with that guess what? It'll open so many doors for so many of us. Don't ever forget that, ever. And also think of intergenerational. Value people who have gray hair as we value each one of you. And that's what I'd like to see. I'd like us to be more intergenerational about really not only helping and giving advice, but you also tell us, what do we need to do to help you and support you? That's what I would love to see.
Wow. Well, ladies, very short because of time, but what would you like to see as leaders?
3 things. 1, I would like for you to lead whatever industry that you choose, to be the leader of that industry. 2, I want you to own your future. Own your future economically, with the community that you want, your family. Own it. Don't let anybody else own your future. Your time is very valuable. And then 3rd, I want you to belong. Think about this country, this world belongs to you. So you can transform it, you can innovate it, you could do anything that you want, but it belongs to you. We have made many mistakes as human beings. We've contaminated this world with bad people, with bad industries. Be that change that we need. Think about ways to save our earth, our planet, our water, strategize. Think about that kind of a visionary human being that you can be, that every day you are conscious about the good thing that you're leaving for this world, because that's for your children, for the future generations as well. But learn every single day. So own it. It's yours. Oh, you got it.
There was, I promise it was
yours.
here.
She's got her mic. She owns it.
It was here. Wow, this is just powerful. I think, honestly, the most important thing for me is for you. I see a lot of young girls, a lot of young people here, and when you enter a room, you enter with your energy, with who you are, with your essence. And that comes with everything involved. You're a full package. And don't let anyone ever change that from you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Embrace who you are, whether that's cultural, values, ethics, whatever it is you are as a package, that's who you are, and that's your identity. And regardless of who surrounding you is, if they're different, that's their energy, and that's okay. And I think that's the most powerful thing you could do, because when you enter a room, you'll bring that with you, with your talent, and with who you are, and with what you bring to a company, as an entrepreneur or an organization. And that makes you powerful. And so don't ever forget that, because I think sometimes we've tried to change, the way we speak, the way we act, and who we are. But you bring such a powerful essence with who you are and who I am. And I think that's one of the things I want to see even in 250 years. And the most important part, the second one, is that we need to be connected to an older, more mature person. And I always call that the mentor or the sponsor. Be connected with someone that you're supporting, that's at your level, and always bringing somebody up. Always, always help someone. Again, without expecting anything in return. Always give someone that opportunity. Don't gatekeep. Open the door for them, and always let them go through, whether you get anything in return, because just seeing them succeed and bringing their energy and their essence it's more than enough for all of us. And I think those are 2 things that I just want to leave you with. And wherever you go, just always be connected and never lose your essence, and never let anyone change the narrative or anything in you. You change your own narrative according to what you have inside of you. And we walk in faith and we walk in might, because we are poderosas. A ver, di, soy poderosa.
Soy poderosa.
Y tú eres poderoso si eres hombre.
Tú eres poderosa. And you know who's poderosa? Thank you, Carol Carter. Thank you, Carol Carter, for doing this incredible opportunity for us Latina women and global-minded. And the most important thing, talking about networking, please, you have your program. Invite these ladies to be part of your network in LinkedIn, because we want to be part of you. We're here because of you. So thank you very much. A big round of applause for Ramona, for Jackie, for Jeff, and for... Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Have a great day. Un beso inmenso, cariños.